So we're back for the warm-up of our first major semi-final. Top seed Joel Ascott, last week's winner, up against Leo Fatialofa. Now, for any of you people out there that maybe don't know the backstory with these two, Leo's had a couple of wins over Joel, one in one PSA Satellite and one in a local open. So he's really going to fancy his chances here, and he's going to want to get into Joel for sure. So if you're thinking that top seed's going to have a cakewalk here, that's certainly not what I'm expecting. Leo had a good win last night against Lance Beddoes, first time he's ever beaten Lance, so that'll give him a bit of confidence, even though obviously Lance was out of condition. And I know last time they played, Joel got their 3-love, but the first game was very close. I think Leo had a decent lead and Joel just clawed it back. Leo is a dangerous opponent. He can win a game off anybody pretty well, and Joel's pretty well aware of that. These guys have trained a bit together through various New Zealand squads. They know each other's games pretty well. So there's no mystery. Joel generally would want to play fast and straight. That would generally what he likes to do. Generally likes to take it early. But he's got to be careful, because if he's not accurate doing that, then Leo's the kind of player that will pick you off. He's got the shots, and if there's no point moving him around the back, if you give him anything, he'll put it away. So certainly a good contrast of styles likely here, and definitely not a foregone conclusion either way. So here in New Zealand, we've just started with more local events coming onto the schedule. So we have a calendar each year, and was disrupted by COVID obviously, and just started to see a few events come onto the system. For these guys, they're interested in playing opens, so other level events, they can't play in them. And there's a few coming up. Northland Open in a couple of weeks' time, Waikato Open a bit later in the year, Franklin Open I think in about 2-3 weeks' time. So good for these players to see these events coming on board, and then an expectation that they will have the Nationals, New Zealand Nationals, sometime in August. Some doubt as to whether Paul Cole and Campbell and those guys will be back to playing it. Certainly Paul wants to play. I'm not sure if it's realistic for him to make it. We've got our top guy, Luamba, coming back in about 3 weeks' time from quarantine, so I'm sure he'd like to play it as well. Slight schedule risk at the moment. Australian Opens in the PSA diary at 26th to 30th of August, so hopefully there won't be a clash there and the guys will be able to play all these events. Still some doubt about when PSA will restart and in what form. The Aussies are pretty keen to run the Aussie Open and Coffs Harbour, so hopefully those events will go ahead. And we're hoping that we get this Trans-Tasman bubble, that we can get over there and without too much trouble, and they'll let us in, because at the moment the borders are closed. So there's some squash being played in Australia, as I understand it, and a few more states opening up shortly. We've certainly seen here that some athletes have obviously trained more in the lockdown period, and some have come back a bit quicker. I think it's a combination of what they did in the lockdown and how hard and how smart they've trained since we've come out. So we've seen some guys perhaps going too hard and struggling, and others going not hard enough and struggling. And so it's finding that middle point of getting the volume in, getting the intensity in, but still recovering. All the guys struggling a little bit for motivation. What's always entertaining though is when there's those key rivalries, they seem to fire up. So I'm expecting that here tonight. Leo is going to fire up, he's going to shoot, he's going to fancy his chances against Joel, and Joel's going to have to equally get a bit of intensity and put him under pressure so he can't hit his targets. Thank you. Nice touch there. It's kind of started how we'd expect. Leo happy to take the ball in, Joel trying to get in front of him on the court and dominate the middle. But neither player truly settled in just yet. Leo's playing a bit of rugby this year, so I'm told. Good to get that stimulation doing something else. He can still swing a squash racket, that's for sure. Takes the lead 3-2. Great length. We saw Joel play Jack Condor last night, and it was a bit of a conditioned game really, where he had a lot of length early on. Found his length and his accuracy in that match, so it was a good blowout for him. He'll be looking to do much the same today, but just with a bit more variation. The main thing for him at the start is to pick these balls up, because Leo is going to shoot, and you've got to make him hit another ball, otherwise it's very, very difficult to play him. Joel's currently got a moustache, which I find particularly irritating. And I said to him, if he doesn't win Tree Love, I'm shaving it off. So that's his motivation tonight. We'll see how effective that motivation is. Good exchanges here, nice pace, good kill. Yeah, it's a good finish, good movement. So he's got a 2-point cushion. You'd normally feel that that was a nice place to be, but you can't relax against Leo, as we see there. Fires in the drop, a little bit of deception, and gets it back to 1. The old Aussie boast there from Joel, he was playing that quite a bit and then stopped playing it and got the result. Nice finish there again as well. So it's a good response because he's got his 2-point cushion back. Well, last night we saw quite a bit of maturity from Leo. Difficult for him to play Lance and get the result. And he kept fighting the whole way through. It was a very good performance. It was good to watch. Nice finish. Joel takes that one, 11-7. Shot. One area that Joel's improved on in the last couple of weeks is when he senses his opponent going for a winner, he's a bit calmer on the pickup and he's putting in good responses from those pickups, whereas previously he'd tend to rush into them and make errors. So I've certainly noticed that that's worked a lot better for him. 2 boasts in a row errors from Leo, so he'll want to cut that out. Bit of a scoop there. Bit of short game practice for the lads. Joel very quick onto that last ball. So I'm multitasking here today. Great winner from Leo, very dangerous on the straight kill. Uses his height well, gets over the ball. Multitasking today. Dave's paying the bills, so I'm doing the commentary with the lads, and still doing the scoring and the streaming, and occasionally a bit of coaching in between. Looking for Joel to maintain his structure through the whole game, this game. Last time I felt he dropped off a little in the middle of that game and opened things up a bit for Leo, so really looking for him to play to his plan through the whole of this game. So we'll see. Critical that he's quick onto the ball and gets those pickups, because Leo is going to fire the ball in. That's nice and tight. Well, I'm a huge fan of that shot. I like the straight short, and that's pretty low risk. I'm a big fan of the second bounce nick, rather. I thought Leo would ask for a lead on that one. Great length. So we saw there that not unhappy with Joel's shot, but because he went for the nick, didn't find it, actually set up the winner for Leo. Definitely prefer the two bounce nick on that shot. Oh, he's got it. Good rally, lads. Bit of humour there, behind the back shot. Joel doing a bit of mahi here. Grabs game ball. Very entertaining stuff. Leo just sees the ball very early, very high squash IQ, very hard to play. Joel takes it. 2 games to love. Well, Mum says the Mo's got to go, and I've got to say I agree with that 100%. But at this stage he's looking pretty good for 3 loves, so I'm not going to win that bet today, I don't think. He's raced out to a 4-love lead. it's good to see Leo staying positive. Well, if anyone watched the earlier game with Lance Beddoes, you might see a couple of similarities in technique between Lance and Leo, whether that's direct or indirectly with similar coaches for both, or Lance directly, but certainly a very, very talented squash player. That is a taxi, ladies and gentlemen. Joel just running away with this at the moment. I think he'll be happy that he's putting in a professional performance, but he cannot rest. Bit of doubt on that one. Yeah. Certainly look good from here. Nice hold and punch from Leo, but unfortunately Joel got it back and he made the error. Oh dear. So that brings up match ball. Shooting. Well, that's what we pay the entry fee for, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, great shot. Wonderful hands. So if you've got a 10-4 lead, first couple of points, okay. But a couple more, it starts to get very niggly. Oh, he's done it again. Just chop that one in. Oh, yeah. As I said earlier, a couple more points and it gets very niggly. This is a huge point. Oh! That is joke stuff. Something about being match ball down that's very liberating and resulting in some amazing shot play from Leo. He's got him again down the middle. So it's 10-all and we're going short, which means it's a 1-point shootout. Not quite what I expected from Joel, but there you go. Oh, he's got it. Yeah, we started to do the short long because back in the day when I was playing, you can tell I'm a slightly older fella, we had the option of calling short and long, and it was always interesting the way that it brought a dimension into matches of humour or almost gamesmanship between players as to whether they call short or long. And there were always players that would go short because they were shot makers, and runners who would call long. What we've seen in the tournament so far is that applies some of the time, but not all the time. We're seeing a lot of guys who you'd normally think would go short, like Lance last night went long, and then just before Joel, who you'd normally predict to go long, going short. So a lot of mind games here. It's a bit of humour, and we've certainly enjoyed having it in this format. That was down. Just catching the top of the tin. That's great hands again. It's a little bit predictable from Joel, but Leo very, very quick onto that and able to make a very high quality shot. So at the moment, Joel guilty of too much short on short, and I'd like to see the ball in the back corners a little bit. It's getting cooler here, and this court rewards a good length. And if you can make someone do that, run corner to corner, it's a long way to go, let me tell you. So Leo's done a bit of a Lazarus here. He's come back from the dead, and he's competing in this game. We'll see if he can hold it together. Sure looks like he can. Probably not quite in that situation, but one of Joel's best shots. The quick backhand sort of soft kill. Ooh. So we're just seeing Leo's movement come off a little bit. Doesn't affect that shot though. Gets a sideball nick, ties it up 7-all. Bit of anger in that shot. He's got it. Oh! Unbelievable shooting there. Gets the lead 8-7, but he's done a lot of work, so let's see what happens next. Oh. Oh. Just seeing a couple of errors here from Joel on those pickups. And Leo's fired up here. He's definitely got a burst of adrenaline. So he's blowing right now, but definitely up for it. He's getting a few nicks. Every part of the court. Takes 3 game balls. Shooting. So Leo's out to a 2-point lead. Joel's up to his old tricks, chucking the ball away. Interesting call there. Well, it's 2-all. As we say, it's tight. Bit of extra pace here from Joel, and he's getting a result. Will he keep it up? That is the question. Still champagne squash here, ladies and gentlemen. 4-2. He's in trouble. Not quite a taxi, but definitely the wrong bus. That's a good shot. Slightly higher intensity from Joel, and it's paying off for now, but he should not be dropping off, because Leo's ready to shoot at any time. Yeah. 7-2. Well, I'd normally say this is a pretty nice cushion, but after the third game, no one's safe till the fat lady sings, as they say. Gets a stroke, 9-2. So it's a good pattern of play from Joel. He can't just play length to Leo. Leo's quite happy running around the back. It's got to take him forward and hopefully draw the air in all parts of the court. That's a nice straighten. Eight match balls, but don't really want to have to use all of them. One too many. Good match, lads. Very entertaining match. So Joel gets there, top seed in 5.